Here we are at Allegheny Cemetery. It is beautiful here. This would be a great place to interview Becky and Kyle. I first met Becky at Skit. We were classmates in level 3. She had a bold approach and directness that made an impression in each scene she performed. She has a clear grasp of characters and commits to every scene. One of her most impactful characters was one of an aging stand-up comedian, complete with beer belly, trucker cap, cigar, and mustache. She owned that stage that night. It was during one of Riley's character improvement, characters only shows. And twice Becky has hosted the very adult dating game show. I then saw Kyle more and more on the stage. He brings a specific energy and knowledge base to his performances. What strikes me is how engaged he is with every scene. Kyle's truly present out there, and he supports his scene partners. There are more and more shows that Becky and Kyle started to perform together. Becky often swoops Kyle right up off of his feet and then into her arms during a scene. Their chemistry and dedication is undeniable. A standout joint performance is when they hosted a show portraying a Hamlet-era couple, and they came back time and time again in each scene and just totally committed to that. So here we are in Allegheny Cemetery, and now you're talking with Dave McCabe. Becky Merbler, Kyle Weinschenker, now you're talking with Dave McCabe.
Yay! Thanks for talking with us.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? I'd love to start by asking you about the accents you used when hosting the Period Piece show. That was total commitment. What made you decide to go with that accent, and how did you prepare to perform it?
We prepared for that show by doing the same sort of formula with reading different passages of Shakespeare, but we were reading Hamlet instead of Romeo and Juliet, and we wanted to be like a sort of like a community theater troupe producing that.
Yeah, our coach daddy, Caleb, was completely on us to, do the Shakespearean voice, but heighten it and just make it like super extra.
yeah, just make it as community college or
there was
just over the top as possible.
Yeah, we couldn't practice that. We practiced it for about, I would say, 6 weeks, and none of those practices could we ever be tired for because we had to enunciate and keep finding a way to end the structure.
Yeah.
There was a lot of play around with the format, too.
I tell you what, it was total commitment. And I love my characters. I was just totally dropped on whenever I was watching that performance. So, way to go. So while we're talking about it, do you have a favorite Hamlet performance? Like, do you have a favorite on TV show, Laurence Olivier, or you just went for Hamlet for the pace and syncopation of it all?
I actually have not seen any of the incarnations. I have not seen Hamlet.
Iterations.
Yeah. I have not seen any iterations of Hamlet besides when Billy Madison comes out with the skull and is like, to be or not to be.
In a similar vein, there's also the Hamlet in Klingon. They've reproduced all of Hamlet, and it's in Klingon, and it's done by like a Klingon. That's a pretty moving, powerful performance. I'd recommend that to anyone.
Since we did Romeo and Juliet though on the stage, we both really love Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes in Romeo plus Juliet. It may be like really cheesy for now, but the young Leo is so attractive.
Yeah. And hey, Baz Luhrmann. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That dude brings it. Well, clearly you can tell you enjoy working together and performing out there. Is there a favorite moment you both shared, would you say?
With that show or
any show?
Yeah.
Any show, anytime.
I'm trying to think. I really enjoyed a lot of our stuff with Uncanny Valley, or the team we were part of.
Mm-hmm.
There was the one time that sticks out is actually, I think, Uncanny Valley's like first show at Skit, because I think our first show actually was at Glitterbox.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was at Skit, and we still had time, but all of us were puttered out. So Kyle just like went out there and started dancing with all he had, and like just him dancing was getting laughs because he was moving and grooving. And I think like Ray Stadelman and I came to say
Ray came out, and then you came out, and eventually the scene morphed into like a hoedown.
yeah.
With and it just like, I don't know, it was a really good like cherry on top of that night, like just going out with a bang.
But besides that, I think our first original OG ribbon dance was a moment because we totally loved that.
Yeah, that was fun. That was at Skit for what's that show called?
It was
like a spontaneous act of joy, something like that.
Something about joy. It was right after Thanksgiving last year.
Yeah, and we brought it out again, just like 100% full commitment to that.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I love about watching both of you perform. 100% full commitment. So Kyle, this one's for you before I get into the ribbon dancing.
Okay.
What about Becky do you most enjoy when you see her on stage?
I love just the amount of depth she can bring to like a scene or a show. Like, she's always willing to like go to a place, like wherever. She's a really strong supporter of her stage partners, and that's like invaluable for for an improviser.
Absolutely. Becky, same question. What do you most enjoy about watching Kyle's performances?
Well, I think first is just like working with him. If I have like an idea or just something I want to do, he's always 100% on that. He's dressed up like a woman for me, and let me carry him, and just kind of like gave him a script that he had to like pretty much memorize in 10 minutes. But when I watch him and I'm not participating, I like it that he is always there for his scene partners. Even if his scene partners like aren't playing well with him, he'll find a way to work through that and still make the scene interesting, instead of like doing that like, no, this is my idea, no, this is my idea. He'll give up his idea to make like the scene go better for the audience, and that's like our very chef's kiss.
Hell yeah. Well, that's the Bruce Lee version of being like water.
Oh, yeah.
Be like water, my friend.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, hey, let's start with this ribbon dancing. I would love to hear how this began.
I don't even know how it began. I know we just got the first ribbon dance we did was for Ray Stadelman, and I think Becky just came up one day and was like, "Oh, do you want to be in this show? I've got this idea. What do you think?" And it was like just ribbon dancing to the main theme to Dragon Ball Z. And like I was like, hell yeah, that would be awesome.
I don't think I asked what do you think, which I think is like a nicer thing. I was like, hey, we should do this, and then you laughed, and then I think we agreed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were actually like going on vacation like 2 days before we got the email. And so
that's always how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah, so we were back like I think maybe like 3 days before the show. So I think there was like a couple times where we were on vacation that we'd play it and kind of jump around a little bit. But we were also on a budget, so I had 2 other morph suits that weren't matching. But they were green and red, and since it's right before Christmas, it was like perfect.
Yeah, it worked.
But, ribbon dancing in the future, I sent something to a friend in Japan and asked, do you think that we could make it as improvised improviser ribbon dancers in
Yeah.
Japan, and she said, no, not until it becomes popular, but we could teach English until that happens. And so maybe that's our future. Is
Yeah.
making.
You gotta sow the seeds now.
Yeah.
Sow the seeds of success.
I mean, everybody's trying to focus on what they love most, and I love most dancing with ribbons and Kyle to anime themes.
Wow. Well, that's a great segue into the fact that you provided a clip to us. Is there any setup to it?
It speaks for
For
itself.
itself. There
It
you
does.
go.
It speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's just to show, I think, the last time we were seeing ribbon dancing, we were just on stage at Skit with like black walls, but this is a very different clip, filled with color, to show you just how cool improvised ribbon dancing is.
Yeah, it's raw. It's very raw.
All right, without further ado, let's see this thing.